Can I get a chee-hoo?
Hey everybody, welcome back to What the Hell Happened to Them? Dwayne The Rock Johnson marches on. I am your host, Patrick Skeyhill, and joining me on the line is a wayfarer. Is that what she was called? Wave rider?
Yeah.
Joe Vekeman?
Hi, I'm the wave rider. Just got out of the screening of Moana 2.
Yeah, on the audio boards is Lev Van Rensselaer, reminding me to remind you that you can email the cast at whathappenedtothemcast@gmail.com. And our sponsor this week is no sponsor. Did not have time to put one together. This one sort of blindsided us a bit. Joe just got out, I guess, at 20 minutes ago, an hour ago, of his
40 minutes ago.
Moana
I rushed
screening.
over here to podcast with you.
I got out of my screening 11 hours ago. Or I guess that's technically less because the movie's 2 hours. So I don't know, 9 hours ago. Like,
wow.
We're really turning this one around quick. But we want to give you people what you want, which I guess is Moana. And Joe in the pre-show seemed to think that the movie was going to, or his reports said the movie was going to make about 119 million. And then we were trying to figure out.
That's Red 1. No, Red 1's made 119 million.
How much
so
did it
far.
say Moana was going to make? 135?
135 to
Yeah.
145 in the first weekend. And Moana, the first one, in that first weekend of the 5-day Thanksgiving break, made 89 million. So that's a big jump up.
Before we get too deep into it, what's the plot? Since you've just left the screening, how would you summarize Moana 2?
Let's see. Oh, boy.
Oh, you're not even going to try. You're just going to look
I'm
it
not
up.
going to know because it was a tired screening. After receiving an unexpected call from her wayfinding ancestors, Moana must journey to the far seas of Oceania and into dangerous, long-lost waters for an adventure unlike anything she's ever faced. Sounds like a TV series.
I mean, I was confused because she's like, "Oh, this one's different. This one's more dangerous. And I'm like, it feels exactly the same.
It's the same.
I don't You keep
shit.
telling me it's different, but it isn't.
And you know what's even worse? How they kept saying, "Remember the first one?"
Yeah.
They kept saying, "Hey, it's not going to be the same as the first one." And I'm like, oh, it's not the same as the first time. Oh, my God. Yes, I get it. Lin-Manuel Miranda did not write these songs, and I can tell. They're not catchy.
Batgirl had a song I thought was okay, and
Wow.
yeah,
Your stand for Batgirl is crazy.
I know, and
just want justice to prevail.
and as much as it pains me to say this, I kind of like The Rock's song too, but
Wow.
yeah.
Interesting. So You're Welcome means nothing to you. That's trash to you.
Yeah, I know. I didn't like that one.
Wow.
I will say I was impressed. I did not know it was possible physically for a movie to both suck and blow at the same time. This was so rarely does a film so unabashedly wear its unnecessariness as a badge of honor. It was like Men in Black 2. There was just no need for this movie. Nothing particularly happened. They threw a bunch of characters at me that all didn't mean anything. They were like one adjective and didn't really accomplish all that much except for Science Girl, who found a faster way to sail against some storm. Meanwhile, you've got Fanboy Guy. He doesn't really do anything. You got Old Dude. He doesn't really do. I guess he technically saved The Rock by getting over his fear of swimming.
I like his coconut soldier, like his shoulder pads.
Yeah, his floaties.
Yeah. Oh, those are floaties? I didn't even think of that.
The pig legitimately added not one thing to the movie. You take the pig out. The chicken was the plot mover. Found the coconut shell, letting people know that other people were around. Made the coconut people like them.
Do you remember who plays the chicken?
Nope. Oh, some famous
I guess
dude.
it's a pet rooster. It's Alan Tudyk.
Yeah.
Isn't that so strange?
Yep. The children in the audience loving the chicken. The chicken
It's fine.
annoying
It's good.
the crap out of me. Holy sequel setup, Batman. Did you stay for the credits thing?
No, Julian, he waited for like 10, 15 seconds once the credits started, and it was like still dark, and then he's like, "Can we go?"
You're like, no, Julian, there's more movie to come, I promise.
He was ready to go about 15, 25 minutes earlier, because that's when he was like, I'm going to lay down. in the chair. I'm like, hey, you're doing great right now. You haven't spoken a word really.
Yeah.
And you just want to lay down? Sure. There's some seats next to us. Lay down.
Here I'll summarize it for you, right? We've just watched this movie, this Moana 2 movie, where no conflict happened for most of it. And when a slight amount of conflict happened, it went away. There was the big clam guy. Oh no, this clam's gonna eat us. Oh no, we've been eaten. Oh, it's actually totally safe inside the clam's stomach. No problems here at all. Oh no, this villain Batgirl, she's coming, she's gonna cause us trouble. Oh no, she's actually a good guy the whole time and just tied up the rock for fun. How are we gonna get to the island? Oh, we got a Mario warp pipe. It's gonna be fine. We're immediately there. Oh no, these things are chasing us. Oh no, the sun came up. It's fine now. We didn't have to do anything to save ourselves. Oh no, people are dying. Oh, that's instantly reversed. Everybody's fine. Oh no, a big evil storm is coming. The big antagonist is here. Oh, you just touch something and it goes away. That was all it took. And so I'm like, oh, that was very extremely anticlimactic. And the God guy's not going to do more. I kept thinking he was going to come down and like there'd be a real climax. No, they saved that for the post-credit scene where you see the real God show up in the Thanos-looking chair and purple background.
Such a bummer.
And he talks to Bat Lady and he goes, it's interesting they were able to find their way to the island. I wonder how that happened. And Bat goes like, I don't know. And then the Flight of the Conchords lobster pops up and he's like, I hate that girl too. We should team up. And then the movie's over.
No, the Sinister Six.
The Rock, king of unimpressive post-credit scene. But like, think about it, right? Like Marvel started that nonsense.
He is the king of them.
Yeah, Marvel started that nonsense. But like, that's a very TV thing to do, right? It's like, tune in next week, everybody, to see this. Tune in for this inevitable sequel, everybody. Here we come. Check out the sequel where now that all these people are kind of gathering and we're going to interact with other tribes, we realize they're jerks. Other people are just jerks sometimes. What a fun lesson. I wish when the boats were coming the first boat was coming at the end, it was like a big Spanish galleon. And they'd be like, hi, I'm Ferdinand Magellan. Who are you guys?
You're asking for wit.
Well, no, instead I got a butt dial joke. That was
I was going to mention
well
that.
Done.
You'll get that in 2,000 years. Okay. Sure. It kind of halts the movie for a minute, and you're like, all right. Who's that guy? Development on a follow-up to Moana originally began as a long-form limited streaming series for Disney+, before it was reworked into a theatrical sequel by February 2024.
Well, that didn't happen, did it? Rock, also king of having his movies pushed back an aggressively long time.
No, they were going to make this a series and then decided in February to just make it a movie.
I thought they wanted it to.
So they gave themselves what? Like an 8-9 month run up? Hey, okay.
They're like, we were going to have this be this 10-episode series. They were going to compress it into 100 minutes. Let's just take out all the plot and leave behind the most disposable of media we can think about.
I did not care for this. And I was a big fan of the first Moana.
I know you
weren't, but
I was not.
This was such a bummer.
I would watch the first Moana 100 times before watching this one again, because at least, like, that was a movie.
Yes, it was. And the songs were good. The songs were so much better.
I don't care about that. But at least at the end of the day, I felt like, I got an experience. It wasn't my favorite experience, but I got to watch a cinema movie thing. I don't know what just happened there. I don't know. I was like, we're done? It's over? I just spent 100 minutes in there, and I didn't even realize it because nothing happened in the movie.
And Maui feels like an afterthought.
Yeah, it was just like, well, we have to put him in there.
Yeah.
That's the rules.
He'll pick up the island. Okay, yeah. Thanks. But does he? No.
And you're like, uh-oh, well, all right, I'll just touch it. I don't know why touching it reverses a curse.
It's weird.
I'm not even sure what the curse is. The
first one has such a great, like, moment where she's, like, interacting with the villain. Like that giant.
Yes, and it goes against the normal conventions of a plot and then fighting an antagonist. That was the part of the movie I did enjoy.
That was so good.
I'm like, what a nice and charming climax here. None of that. You didn't even. You're like, we're gonna save this for a third one, so let's just not blow our load too soon. And what they decided to do was nothing. They're just treading water. Get it? For 100 minutes. Just so they can make us come back another time. That's all that it is. If maybe this is what Wicked 1 is. I don't know. I didn't see it, but maybe that's the same thing.
I'll let you know tomorrow.
You're gonna see it, all right? Bold of you.
I'm taking Ellie to see it. She wants to see it,
but she didn't want to see Moana. Did your kids like this movie?
Okay, so Ellie refused to go. She wanted to go. She'd rather go to school than see this movie, and I'm like, "What is wrong with you?" Okay, I get, like maybe the movie might suck, but like, because she's kind of been burned by a few movies now, and she's kind of getting it. She's like, "Oh, that Lightyear shit."
That's what it felt like. It was the three stupid characters that follow Lightyear were the three characters on the stupid boat.
Yes, so you just said it perfectly because they're describing like one adjective. So Moni or is it Moni?
Who?
The Maui's fan.
Oh, okay, the fanboy. Yeah.
The fanboy. Yeah,
fanboy. Science lady, old guy. That's all I need. Yeah.
So on the Wikipedia, it's listed as Lodo, who's the brainy, is the science girl, brainy but quirky. Okay.
The end.
Keel. A grumpy farmer. The end. That's it. It's the only thing he has.
That's all that matters. All right. So your daughter didn't want to come.
She did not want to see this.
But she liked Moana 1?
She loves Moana 1. That's what she grew up on. She was like a year old when it came out.
Wow. And didn't want to see Moana 2.
Yeah. Well, maybe don't take 8 years to make a sequel.
Yeah, I guess it's hard to build nostalgia in 10-year-olds.
Ugh.
Do you think they sit around the playground? They're like, damn, remember kindergarten, guys? That was the shit. Oh, we got to have nap time. It was great. We didn't have to read anything because we didn't know how. Now my parents make me read every night. What jerks.
She's good at it, and she reads the Julian sometimes, so that's nice.
Is she still, like, deep in her 9/11 phase?
No, I kind of missed that.
Dang.
It was so brief, but she actually got interested because of these survival books, so now she was, like, interested in, like, the Chicago, like, wildfire or something.
Oh, is she going to become a doomsday prepper when she gets older?
It sounds like it.
All right. So Julian, did Julian like Moana, and did he want to see Moana 2?
Well, so he likes Moana. Yeah. Like, he's not like a huge super fan of it. His franchise is the Cars.
Okay.
He sat through the whole movie. He was so good. I know I bribed him with popcorn and slushies, and I even told it before the movie. I'm like, if you sit through this whole movie, I know it's long. It's the longest movie he's ever sat through.
Wow,
by
really?
like 25 minutes. Because the Mario movie is 77 minutes long. And Nightmare Before Christmas is also like 78 minutes long.
Movie. Yeah. Oh, he didn't go to Lightyear with you.
No, those are the only two movies he's ever sat through, and this is the third one. And I'm like, this is a huge accomplishment because this movie was fucking boring.
Okay.
I was so proud of him. I bribed him with like some Pixar cars like at Walmart before because we had to go do some shopping, and I was like, and we got through all the shopping fine. We had to go to Whole Foods to get the rest of our groceries, and I'm like, oh my god, he's being so good, and he's listening to everything I'm saying, and he's not putting up any fight, and I know I got him cars, but like still, he's just like so happy. And we saw the whole movie, sat through the whole movie, didn't go to the bathroom. I was surprised he didn't have to go to the bathroom.
Well, you don't want to miss any of the important plot stuff, like The Rock being tied up and then somehow no longer being tied up.
All of his tattoos fall off, and then they come back because he touches his like little hook.
His cane thing.
His cane? It's a hook.
Oh. But doesn't he call it a cane? Oh, no, he calls it a hook. All right, I'm done.
It's a hook.
Listen, I saw this movie a whopping 9 hours ago. I just can't remember it all, Joe.
It's already drizzled out of your brain.
It's been too long.
Yeah, no. So then he sat through it, and then it was over, and I looked at him. I'm like, I'm so proud of you, dude. I'm so proud of you. And I was like, did you like it? And he was like, yeah! And I'm like, bullshit. It's a fucking lie. But then on the way home, he's like, I want to listen to the songs. I'm like, do you like the songs? And he's like, yeah. And then I was like, this one? He's like, what's this? And I'm like, it's the song from the movie we just saw. He had no idea. And I'm like, well, they really sat with you, didn't they? I don't know.
Did the rest of the audience seem to like it?
No one laughed. Someone laughed at like a joke that was like 2 minutes before it ended, but I forget what the joke was. But I was like, oh, I clocked the laughter, though.
Okay. My audience kind of liked it, but I felt like I think the audience might have liked it more had they all not been exhausted from it being 11 o'clock at night.
So ridiculous. Who does that? That's crazy. Unless you're going to do like a 12-hour movie marathon that starts
There
at
was
midnight.
a 10 o'clock showing, a 10:30 showing, and an 11 o'clock showing. Like, it was every half hour they had a showing.
Well, like I told you, every 15 minutes at Regal Bellingham, and they're all sold out.
Jesus.
We left the theater, and the parking lot was full. And I was
Oh
like, we
my
got to get out of here,
God.
dude. It's going to get really hard to move soon. And we had to go get him medicine. And as we were leaving the CVS, I was like, oh no, the traffic is starting. And it took us like almost 35 minutes to get home. I'm like, oh shit. But it's my first day off since August 2nd. So let's celebrate that with this fine movie. So yeah, the movie was kind of really like mediocre. Didn't really do anything for me at all. I'll just be like, okay. But the experience I had with my son. This is the first time we saw a movie just us.
Yeah.
So that'll be special.
Boys'
for that reason.
night. Boys' day.
At Moana 2.
At Moana 2. Most masculine film you can think of.
About
Wait till you take him to Fast X2.
Do not even start that. I mean, by the time it comes out, though, when is that coming out? I haven't heard a single thing about it.
I imagine next year. Right, every other year they're probably going to do it.
This is only on topic because it's Dwayne. Wow, my friend.
Yeah.
No release date, just a year. And it's not next year. It's 2026.
Now that they're shoving The Rock into it, they got to rewrite it all, figure out a whole new thing.
Development on this movie on the 11th main Fast and Furious began October 2020. 6 years later, they'll get it out, and it'll still be a piece of shit.
I was also surprised how little I remembered from the first film.
They haven't even shot this movie yet.
No,
they
no.
don't start shooting till next year.
I'm back on Moana 2, Joe.
Okay, I'm back.
I was surprised how little I remembered the first one. I was like, where'd this grandmother go? Wasn't she supposed to be around?
That's like one of the emotional moments. Yeah.
In the first one, she passes away there. Don't remember that. Was this younger sister in there too?
No, she's new.
She's new?
She's there because there's a little Moana before she grows up in the first one, and so I think they're like, well, we have to sell toys, and if there's a little sister, we could sell another toy.
I mean, now that I know there's a third one, I legitimately think like she's gonna be the MacGuffin in the third one. Like she's gonna get kidnapped or something, and Moana's gonna have to go rescue her.
Do not doubt that. It's like you're writing it for them. Stop giving them ideas.
I think they wrote these two movies in tandem, clearly, and that's why they want a young Moana, because they're like, well, we're gonna need her in the third one when the stakes are the highest, because she's gotta like save her family. Yeah,
that was supposed to be season 2.
I wonder if 2 and 3 Moana were gonna be the full season, and they just like broke it up. Wow. But I don't know why you do that.
Because there's nothing that happens in this.
Yeah, you didn't have anything happen in this movie. You might as well have just put it all in there, and it felt like something could have been a movie.
Yeah, you could have cut out a lot of the boring parts where it's just like, I was like, oh my god, I can't believe he's still sitting still. He's such a good kid.
Yeah, Moana having ocean powers, Deus Ex Oceana, I forgot about.
Oh, wow, really?
Yeah.
That's her thing.
Like, and then the guy... The Rock's character, I'm like, all right, did The Rock go back up to heaven or something? Like, what happened to The Rock at the end of that movie? Do they still hang out? I can't remember.
No, he kind of goes his own way.
Yeah, there's some whole background where The Rock and the God don't like each other, but we don't know why. I guess they say that for the third movie. The bad guy doesn't like humanity. We don't know why. Guess they're saving that for the third movie. I don't know why The Rock was inside of that clam to begin with. What his goal was. He seemed to want to stop the Bat Lady, but I don't know stop her from what. Batgirl also didn't seem to be a particularly bad guy. She just was like having fun. I don't know why she felt the need to lure Moana over there with him, not knowing that she was going to do any of that. There's a big comet that she has to follow, but like it takes like 2 days for them to even begin when she sees the comet, and I'm like, the comet's long gone, and then she looks up and it's still there, just hanging out.
Yeah, the fire in the sky. She had to follow the fire in the sky.
And then the fire in the sky just sort of explodes, and I'm like, oh, did it get attacked? Was it like some kind of weird space satellite and it got destroyed? No, it just like didn't matter to anybody. I don't know. The plot was like, we don't need this anymore. You're going in the clam now. You're going to use the magical Mario warp pipe. Boom, you're where you need to be. Done. The end. The weird electric eel monsters don't like the sunlight, but then you went into this big storm.
How is he clipping the lightning bolts with his hook? How does that work? They're not scissors.
That one's magic. I'm just confused why the lightning didn't affect him sometimes, but then totally drained his power other times.
Yeah.
And I guess his power's in his tattoos.
And then he got them back because he touched his hook.
He touches Hook, so I don't know. And then she got tattoos, and I'm like, is she a demigod now? Like, what's going on
They
there?
hint at it, but they don't say it.
They're gonna save that for the third movie.
Yeah, I guess.
The whole point of Moana 2 seems to be, hey, remember the first one? That was good. Hey, bet you can't wait for the third one. It's kind of like a good chunk of The Hobbit. A lot of The Hobbit is spent being like, boy, you're gonna really like this in Lord of the Rings.
An unexpected journey that will never go on until the second movie. Remember when there was supposed to be 2 movies and then Jackson's like, fuck it. I bet that was extended editions too.
I bet that was a studio decision. I really do.
I'm sure it was.
They were like in development. He was doing good with his 2, and the studio's like, hey, I bet we could make a lot more money. This seems to be tracking well in our market research.
Even better, do you remember when Guillermo del Toro was supposed to be directing that?
I don't. I didn't pay attention to it. I went the first time because Alberto and Shinji wanted to go, so I'm like, all right, fine. That was one of my patented, get the popcorn, eat it all before the movie begins. Refill
you
the
get a
popcorn,
long time.
Eat the popcorn again.
That first one's like 3 hours.
Yeah, that was really boring.
Nothing.
And then it just like somehow became like, we watched it on New Year's Day, and then I just did that for the following 2 years just because. I don't know why.
Damn.
I just was in the habit, I guess. The habit of The Hobbit.
I was gonna say.
Yeah, long story short, no need for Moana. They didn't even want to make Moana. They really wanted to make Moana 3 and had to like glue it together somehow.
We don't really want to make 2. We really want to make 3, though. That is a studio executive really excited to make some money.
Listen, they're coming for 2. It doesn't matter. And even if they don't like 2, because nobody liked Star Wars 8, they all came for Star Wars 9. So they're going to come for Moana 3. So like, it's fine. We don't have to make good movies.
It's true.
As long as it's a sequel, they're going to come.
If they put it out and say it's Moana, they will go. That's how it works.
Well, that's all I got to say on Moana 2. I was surprisingly incensed by it. Not that the movie itself is offensive, but the creation of it is. The behind-the-scenes stuff.
Well said.
Yeah.
So well said.
The movie itself is limp and lifeless and a little embarrassing, but...
It's really limp. That's a great way to describe this.
Nobody's decisions seem to super-duper matter. No threats seem to be particularly threatening. They all were solved easily, usually not by any character's actions or decisions.
There was no like, hey, we want to show you this thing. It's really cool.
Yeah, there weren't even really set pieces. Like, for all the big action stuff that was happening, it was over in like a minute. It just didn't matter.
And you know what's frustrating?
What?
Disney put out this show that Julian watched called Cars on the Road. It sounds exactly like this because there's like a but those Cars episodes, there's 9 episodes and are like 8 or 9 minutes long each. So there's no way that would equal a full length movie. So they were just like, and I'll tell you, each episode is way more memorable than any like 5-minute stint in this movie. It's that, and you know what? They got Luke Wilson.
Yeah.
I mean, Owen Wilson. Sorry, Owen Wilson. No disrespect to Luke.
Yeah.
Yes, the blonde one. And they got, of course, they got back Larry, the cable guy. He does all the Mater voiceovers.
Yeah, well, he's got no time. I'm sorry, he's got all the time. It's the exact opposite of what I said.
Yeah, just like the Luke Wilson call. We're in warped mode right now.
So is the Moana live action thing, is that like a remake of the first one, or is it its own thing?
Wouldn't it be so fitting if it came out next Thanksgiving?
No, what it would be fitting is if it came out in 12 days. That seems to be what we're doing now. We're in Rockception. Soon The Rock's going to have a movie in every 6 minutes.
Where and when? This is published 27 minutes ago, my friend.
Oh, wow.
Where and when to stream Moana 2?
Guys, it just came out.
Came out.
Give it, I don't know, a day?
Disney's making the jump from live action, animation to live action for this sequel.
Oh, yes, they've never done that before.
Oh, okay. So, the live action movie, it will be released. So we might have another double feature for Rock. He'll have Fast X2 and he'll have Moana live action.
In 2026?
Yeah, in 2026.
Well, at least we get a little break then. That's good. Moana 3 could come out in 2026.
So it's very possible that we will have it July 10th for Moana live action. Fast and the Furious is always like a summer franchise.
Yeah, makes sense.
Usually in May or April, but we'll see. They did the ninth one in June. So yeah, obviously The Rock is reprising his role, but Ali Caravalho will not be back.
She might be too old now, right?
I guess so.
Yeah. Who is Batgirl? Is she anybody?
Jesus Christ. I'm looking it up because I don't even know who that is. Movie. It was Leslie Grace. Have you heard of Leslie Grace?
No, I don't think so. At least not by name. I might have seen her in
She
things.
played Nina in The Heights, which I saw.
Okay. So they got Lin-Manuel Miranda people, but not Lin-Manuel Miranda. They were like trying to lure him back, and he was like, I'm not going to do a TV show. And they're like, well, we made it a movie. And he's like, nah, you only got 8 months. No, thank you.
Okay, so she made a movie called Life in 2017 where she was student 3. Then she was in The Heights as Nina. Then she made Batgirl, which never came out.
What? She was actually in Batgirl?
No, I told you. This is the girl who's playing the new Moana.
Oh, I'm talking about Batgirl. Who played the Batgirl?
Wait, no. Now I am really confused because, yes, I was looking at Batgirl. God, I am so tired.
Okay,
Jesus
so
Christ.
the woman who played Batgirl...
I was doing the right thing. I was looking up Batgirl. You got me so
How did I get you confused?
Because now I was just looking at her stupid credits, and I'm like, who is this again?
I just want to confirm, the woman who played Batgirl in Moana 2 also played a character in the movie Batgirl that's not coming out.
No, that did not happen.
Okay, she was not in the movie Batgirl.
She's not... No.
But live action Moana was in Batgirl.
No, none of that.
The social order has broken down in this podcast.
It has.
Okay, so Batgirl...
You told me to look up Batgirl actress, so I looked her up. And I was telling you the only movies she's done are In the Heights and Batgirl.
Okay, but so she isn't Batgirl.
Yeah, the Batgirl actress you told me to look up. I'm looking up Batgirl. The Batgirl. This is her. She's made 2 movies, In the Heights and Batgirl. That's it.
No, so she's...
You told me to look up Batgirl, so I looked up Batgirl.
The Batgirl from Moana 2.
There's no... What? Oh, Jesus Christ. Wow. All right.
Lev's gonna clip that for the 300th episode Spectacular.
That didn't... Because you know what? I think that must have been where I, kind of took a 5-minute nap, because I was like, who the fuck is Batgirl? You keep talking about Batgirl. All right. Let's go back to Moana 2. Jesus Christ. That was who's on first too far. All right. Let's go back. Cast and characters.
Okay. Ignore the last 3 minutes, everybody. None of that is canon.
Fucking hell. I don't even know. Who is she?
I don't know what her name is. I don't know. She's just Batgirl.
Right, well, you kept calling her Batgirl. Maybe she's not really Batgirl.
Batgirl, old guy, science lady, fanboy dude, people from the first movie.
Okay, seeing the real people who played them is not helping this either. All right, I'm gonna say...
You're gonna guess.
No, because this... Okay. Her name in the movie is what?
Who is Batgirl in Moana 2?
Batgirl, that's not her name.
Easy Google search. I'm Googling. Who's Batgirl in Moana 2?
I'm thinking...
I'm doing this.
So was her name Matangi? Is that who you're thinking of?
I don't know any of their names. Yes, it is Matangi.
Okay, so the actress who played Matangi has been in one movie, and it's called Moana 2. Her name is Wihima. I'm butchering this, but Fraser. There we go.
I'm glad I did not have to...
Miss Fraser. Yep.
To say that out loud. What's a girl gotta do to get some conflict in Moana 2? That is the name of the article that came up when I Googled who is Batgirl in Moana 2. And the blurb that's on Google without me having to click the link says it would probably make more sense for the sultry Batwoman Matangi to go from keeping demigod Maui, Dwayne Johnson, prisoner to help Moana out if it happened over the course of an episode. Instead, it happens over the course of a song, leaving the character's whole deal deeply confusing. Yes, and she helps them all escape, and Moana's like, what? You're not coming? And she's like, well, I can't leave. And I'm like, yes, she just sang a whole song about that, Moana. Weren't you paying attention? And I spent the whole time, that whole sequence being like, oh, this is a trick. This is like some kind of trap. She's trying to lure you into the whole No, it was all legitimate. There was no deeper thing. There was no subtext. It's all very clear. I like that article. What's a girl gonna do to get some conflict in Moana 2? I feel the same way, but the male version. What's a bro gonna do to get some conflict in Moana 2?
It doesn't sound good.
There's my Letterboxd review. All right. I'm done talking about that. You got last looks.
Last looks. Did we need this? No. I'm glad I had the experience with my son, though. That was nice.
Okay.
That was the one shining moment of this movie.
Yeah. Well, the one shining moment was the act of watching it and not the movie itself.
Yes. I liked looking at him during the movie because he looked like he was actually engaged with it, and I'm like, what are you engaging with? This is crazy. I feel cruel as a father to drag you to a movie that you had, because I asked him, I was like, do you know what movie we're seeing? He's like, no. I'm like, Jesus Christ.
You say, Julian, there's a thing in this world called journalistic integrity, and sometimes you got to do what's necessary. All right. Why does The Rock do this movie? Well, it's a sequel to a movie he's already done and it was successful, and he's already doing a live action of it. So he's just there for the paycheck and because maybe there's a contract dispute involved. Not dispute, but a contract deal involved. If you want to kill 100 minutes and take a nap, you can watch this movie. Otherwise, I think you can just skip to the third one. They're probably going to re-explain what happened in the second one anyway, so you're fine.
Or you could just like fast forward through it on Disney Plus.
Yeah, you watch it at like 3 times speed. You'll get the gist. You're not missing. You actually might miss all the conflict. Like it might just jump over a whole scene.
It's too fast. Too fast. Oh, you did the click remote? You go over all the conflict.
All right.
Very
I'd
nice.
like to thank Lev Van Rensselaer, who's going to be turning this one out in like 2 hours. Thanks for editing this one quick. I had to thank my co-host Joe Vekeman for dragging his poor son to the theater.
He had a good time.
All right.
So thank you.
I am your host, Patrick Scaly. You can find my features, documentaries, short films, video essays, animations, behind-the-scenes footage, and so much more at QuixoticUnited.com and social media, presumably with a similar sounding name. Thank you all for listening. Joe, say goodnight.
Good night. Well, he can tank through a popcorn like Dad, so I'm just proud of him. I always do a small though. I don't do a big size.
You fool! That's just what you're leaving value on the table. $2 more, you get a large, and then you get another one. Boom!
I don't need all that.
It doesn't matter if you need it. Think of the value, Joe. That's the American
what if
dream.
I'm not eating it? Well, the value goes to waste because I'm not eating it.
Well, you gotta eat it, Joe. That's part of the value.
Well, that's our first problem right there, gluttony.
No, that's not gluttony. It's frugality.
Sure. We're doing Moana first.
Yeah. So how was your crowd at Moana?
Actually quite sizable because I thought this was gonna be like the quieter screening. It was like half full.
Kids don't have school today. I feel like the day before Thanksgiving, we had a half day. Is that what it usually was?
I tried to keep my kid out.
No, it's fine that you kept yours out, but like, are the kids also kept out, or were they just didn't have school? Is it common to not have school now? In California, they don't seem to have school on Wednesdays, on the Wednesday before Thanksgiving.
Well, I mean, it would just be nice instead of doing this stupid 2.5 hour day. Like it took. Like she got on the bus at 8:47 this morning. She got dismissed at 11:50.
Does that even count as a half day? School day is like 6.5 hours.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. What was the point of this?
Yeah.
They don't even eat lunch, so now she's hungry. And I'm like, great, more things to do for this kid. If she just came with us this morning, it would have saved so much time. Because I wouldn't have to like get 2 people to pick her up and take her to the bus and get her from the bus.
Well, my crowd for an 11 p.m. showing the day before the movie technically released was surprisingly big as well.
Why?
And surprisingly populated by families.
At 11?
Yeah, there were a lot of 10-year-olds in that audience.
Jesus.
So I saw some mother like leaving during the credits, and she had like a 3-year-old like slung over her shoulder, clearly passed out for perhaps the last hour of it.
Yeah, we'll get into that. That's crazy, because you got out at like 1 in the morning.
It was 1:06 was when the credits started, and then I texted you.
What kind of psychopaths really need to see Moana 2, like, opening day? It's like the preview opening day. It's not even like the real opening day.
And they had like I don't know, 15, maybe more showtimes on Tuesday, the day before it opens. And I can't imagine all those people had podcasts to do. They can't all be.
This is so stupid. Fucking Dwayne Johnson releasing 2 movies at the busiest time of the year. That little shithead. Not happy.
How did The Rock's other movie do? Is it just tanking?
Oh, Red One. Let's see.
Because I left my theater and heard another theater still going on at 1:15 now in the morning, and that was Red One. So I don't know if anyone was in there. Perhaps I should have poked in, but I just wanted to go home. I got a lot to do. I got to do laundry. I got to pack today. I got to finish off food. Got to clean up the kitchen, and then I got to fly on a stupid plane tomorrow. So I'm busy. I didn't want to stay and peek. See what creatures might be lurking in the Red One screening at 1:15 in the morning.
Come on, can I get something like after November 17th? We're on the 27th. Come on. It's 10 days later. Come on.
It's been 10 days, nerds. Get your numbers going.
Domestic box office since this came out, when did this come out?
Week and a half ago.
15th. This came out the 15th.
12 days ago. 12 days ago, Joe.
And so it's made $54 million domestic, $64 international for a $119. That is nowhere near its $254 million budget.
What's some kind of marketing thrown in there, I'm sure.
Yikes.
You know, it'll have second life on Amazon, so there you go.
Second life to like the streaming depths of hell.
Well, that makes me happy. I'm glad it made roughly the same as Godzilla -1 in theaters.
Since we're just on the topic, Moana 2. Preview screenings for Moana 2 began at 2 p.m. on Tuesday. Disney's musical sequel officially opens on Wednesday and is estimated to collect at least $135 to $145 million over its first 5 days in theaters.
I mean, it sounds like impressive, but really, Red One only had an extra week. Like, it's not that far behind in time lapse, you know?
Well, no, that's insane for Moana 2, because how did the first one do? Do we even remember? Because I thought that was like a soft one.
I thought that was a big deal one. That's why you make a sequel and a live action version of it.
Well, I think it did well eventually, but like it was like slow build.
All right, well, let's stop there and we'll continue that in the regular show, I suppose.